So I'm going to explain the second area of where to measure to get that total picture of results. The first one I talked about was the scale. This is the second one that I'm going to talk about, which is taking measurements. And of course you can measure however you want. Taking a measuring tape and wrapping it around and doing that week to week to week will give you some kind of results. But I actually use not really a formula per se, but a few points, 5 different points that I use that really give me a good picture of how someone's body is changing, shrinking. And the first one is the arm, and that's actually your bicep. So what I do is I take the point of the shoulder, which is the bony area that sticks out on your shoulder, and then I measure down anywhere from, depends on the length of your arm, but 6 inches or so. Measure it down to a good spot, but record how many inches down from that point of your shoulder that you're actually going. And then at that point you do a circumference is all you do for your bicep, and you want to do it on your the dominant arm. So if you're right-handed, use your right arm, and you want to do it while your arm is completely relaxed. That's the first one. The second one is a chest measurement, which is basically at complete rest, so not lungs inflated or not deflated. At complete rest, and you want to take it straight across the bust line all around the back and have it parallel to the floor, so it's not at an angle. So that's your second measurement. Your third measurement is what I call the waist, in quotations, because it's not your actual waist. When you think of the waist, you think of the narrowest part of your torso, but that's going to change over the weeks when you drop inches. So what I do is, this is a belly button right here. Excuse my artwork, by the way, it's bad, but I just want to give you a visual. This is the belly button. That's where you should be measuring your circumference, right around the belly button, because from week to week to week, the narrowest part of your waist might change, but your belly button's not. Your belly button's going to stay where it is. So if that is your line of measuring, and you do it all the way around, and you keep the measuring tape parallel to the floor all the way around, then you have a baseline that you can always go back to your belly button, and you can see how that has changed from time to time to time. So then your next measurement is going to be your hips. And for hips, you want to measure the widest place that you can find on your hips. And you're going to stand with your feet together, heels together, feet together, and relax your glutes. And the reason why you don't squeeze your glutes is because you actually will drop a couple inches by doing that, believe it or not. So you relax your glutes, and you move the measuring tape around. You have the person that's measuring move the tape around until they can find the widest spot. Now that's going to change from week to week to week, but in that case we want to see what the widest area of that is from week to week. And then the last measurement is the thigh, and again I marked the point of the hip with an X, just like I marked the point of the shoulder with an X up here. So you want to find, dig in if you have to, and find where that hip bone is. And from that point, you're going to measure, on my clients I do it, or myself too, anywhere from 10 to 12 inches down, but you want to aim for what you think is one of the widest parts of your thigh. Put the measuring tape on the point of your hip, and then you're going to go down, say 10 or 12 inches. Mark how far you go down, so you can do that the same every time. Then you take a circumference at that point and keep the tape parallel to the floor, so it's not at an angle. If you're at an angle, you can add a ½ inch to it. So keep it parallel to the floor and measure at that point, and you're going to measure at that point, same place, from week to week to week. We're looking for a solid baseline so you can actually measure results. So this is what I use. Of course, there's other measurements that you've probably heard of or you've taken yourself, like neck circumference, calf circumference, and so on and so forth. And sometimes those are done for certain reasons to help other calculations. So this simply is just for the measurements themselves and watching how these 5 measurements change over the next 6, 8, 12 weeks. So that's how I do it, and see if that works for you too.